है शेरनी है जट्टी, बोल दिया सो बोल दिया, मैं पीछे नहीं हट्टी, आंख मिला लो और तुड़ा लो फ्री में अपनी हड्डी। I'm a champion। शेरनी है जट्टी, बोल दिया सो बोल दिया, मैं पीछे नहीं हट्टी।
Hey guys, it's Taz from Punjab 2000 and today we're in Broad Street, Beyond Beauty, and we're here with the lovely Hardcore.
Hey, thank you for having me.
How are you feeling today?
So good. Good to see you.
Busy schedule.
Yes. It's going great. It's good to be back in UK, you know.
So what have you been doing then? The last time we actually met Hardcore was 6 years ago, believe it or not. Oh so in that time, what have you been doing?
Loads. I mean, I had a lot of fun. Obviously, I did Patiala House, the movie. I did Jhalak Dikhlaja, which is the Indian equivalent of Dancing with the Stars. I did loads of records. But, you know, the past 2 years, I was kind of, you know, underground, trying to create more music as a music director because I've had 4 movies out. The last one being Shaukeens with Akshay Kumar. I had a track called Ashik Mizaj. So it's good being a music director because, you know, I've always been in the studio. So this is the career I want to kind of concentrate on, and I want to become a big music director, you know, like Pritam's got his sound and Shankar's got his sound. I want my own sound. And what's the good thing about this is that I get to introduce new singers all the time in my tracks, and whoever gets a hit, their career is set and we get to enjoy good music.
Was this inspired by your transition to moving over to Bollywood? Because it's very difficult as UK artists, especially in our industry, to make a name here in the UK, but you've actually transitioned over to Bollywood. And like you said, you're in Patiala House acting, singing, and then you're in the Johnny Goodder songs as well. Is that where the inspirations come from moving into different variety of areas?
I think we do music and everything comes as a part of it, whether it's fashion or dance. Well, this is kind of connected to it. I love making music. I've been practicing, so the most thing I'm improved on is me being a composer and a songwriter. So I love doing so many elements that are connected to, you know, as hardcore, I'm limited to what I'm going to do as into rap and my style. As a music director, I can do any kind of music and I can enjoy different kind of soundtracks. So you can hear, like my next track is coming in a movie called Ticket to Bollywood. Was done a Qawwali for that. But I'm not singing it, and it's like a hardcore qawwali. So I'm trying to give my own touch to it. But it was kind of organic, like it's gonna go in that direction anyway. You either pick up an instrument, you know, or either you produce, either you write, you compose. So I'm just glad that, you know, in Mumbai, we got that scene where you can get involved with so many other things. And yeah, I wanted to be here for a long time, but you wouldn't think I could compose as well, but I've been composing all my life. It's just you don't hear about it because I'm always the artist.
What's your favourite genre? So we know you're hip hop. We can see with a hat. We can see the whole swagger here. What is your favourite music genre?
I mean, I love hip hop. That's my number one. I think I love drum and bass. Is my second love. I love old school Bollywood. R.D. Bem and Kishore Kumar. That's my third favourite. You can go into Bhangra. I love my Bhangra as well. So it's all mixed up. You know, good music is good music. You can enjoy it. It necessarily doesn't mean it needs to be a particular style. I can wake up and listen to Frank Sinatra, followed by James Brown, followed by Jagjit Singh. Yeah. So it's just about good music.
So the main reason you're here actually in the UK is to promote your single, Sherni. Now, what a powerful word itself, Sherni. Yeah. So for non-native Punjabi speakers, what does Sherni mean?
Sherni means a lioness. So she rules, basically. And when a Sherni roars, you better be careful. That's what it is.
So what was the concept? What was the idea behind that video? Because it's very powerful. You're sitting there on a throne. I kind of assumed it was a bit of a Beyonce theme. They're going there, and then you've got your do-rag on, and you've got a bit of Amy Winehouse. How did that come about?
I wrote this song about 4.5 years ago when the Nirbhaya case happened, the Delhi rape case. And it was kind of a sensitive time. You know, people saying to me, you should release the track. Why would I take advantage of something so messed up that's just happened in our country? And, you know, it's a universal problem where women have to go through the same, you know, BS that's still going with the being treated equal and stuff like that. But it's just a little more over there. So I've been fighting this for a long time. It's not just me, other people like Sona Mahapatra. And I'm sure in every situation, in every background, girls from different backgrounds have been fighting this issue. I wrote the song. I didn't want to release it because I was just so upset and in shock with what happened We can't be living in a time and an era where, you know, we got the latest phones, we got the latest cars, but the mentality is still old school. And it's not okay for women to be treated like that. You know, I put it in my hard drive, I put the track away. I took it out last year. A couple of my friends heard it and they were like, you know, you need to really release this song. So on top of that, the labels heard it. Nobody wanted to support it financially because it's not a commercial song. It's not going to make money. So what are you doing it for? I'm doing it because it needs to be done. I'm kind of tired, just like a lot of women in India, you know, basic things, getting judged for what you wear.
Here in the UK.
Yeah, I mean, it gets here.
Yeah.
It's a universal problem. It's not just an India problem. Getting judged for what you wear, being paid less for the same job as a man. Just simple things like being called names in India and things like that. So, you know, we've come to a point where celebrities can make a joke out of the word rape. You know, you heard about that. But it's a time where I just want all girls to just say, you know what, be a Sherni. I'm not going to put up with any of this crap anymore. It's just we need to stop accepting it. My mom's never let me feel this way, that you're an Indian or you're a girl and you're beneath anyone or you're any less than anyone. I live like a human being. I'm a human being first, then I'm a, you know, female, then I'm Indian or whatever, but I'm not going to let those things get in my way because it's a small life. I believe in the rule of live and let live, and you shouldn't be judging people for these silly things. And oh, come on, it's 2016, are we still going to put up with these girls? No, right? So all the girls need to be Sherni and just not accept this crap anymore.
So how's the feedback been on this video itself and the actual, because the lyrics, they are a bit explicit, so for your younger audience, especially females, because females will relate to this song.
Yeah.
What's your feedback been like on this?
It's been amazing. I mean, the fact that I'm here, I haven't been here to promote any other tracks for a while. This song got such a good response worldwide. I'm getting calls from Maldives and Mexico and random places like, you know, this is really great. I came in the 14th best female rappers around the world in a website that's from France and stuff. I'm getting a lot of love from Germany. So it's crazy amount of love that I'm getting for this. And it's so weird that I launched my own label in India. No one can do that. So I come in, I'm like, I got to release this song. How do I do it? Yeah. Nobody else wants to support it financially? Fine. I'll pay for it. I'll release it. I'll launch my own label, which is Future Records India, which I've just launched. So I get to sign other artists and release this kind of stuff, which may not be commercial friendly for labels. So it's such a good movement, and it means so much when you're doing something alone and you're doing the right thing and you're trying to promote a kind of a song which you know is not commercially viable for you, but to get a good response on it, it's so amazing. I'm like, thank you everybody. You know, I've had a great response on it, and yes, it's because of the fact that these things need to be spoken about. So I'm very happy, and now I have a record label too.
So how would young girls get in touch with you then if they wanted to join and get a singing career or getting a rapping career or get any acting career?
See, I can only give you advice. I can't do things for you. This is when people say to me, what can you do? Yeah. Why shall I do it for you? I did it for myself. I had to learn myself. I can only advise you. If you want to get into music, you got to understand this is not a joke. Why am I still here 21 years later? How many females do you know that have come into the scene and gone or done anything? You got to be pretty strong, and don't take this for a joke. A lot of people get into it for the wrong reasons. They want to be famous. There's other ways of being famous. You don't need to waste time. If you don't love music, don't do it. You know, there's other jobs in the world, and not everybody has to be a star. But these are the two things. Third thing is talent. I wasn't born a rapper. I didn't know how to speak English before 93, 94. It's discipline. I like people who are hungry and have the right attitude and can learn better than the people who are talented and don't want to do anything. You understand what I'm saying? So if you are talented, then don't listen to anyone, because half of the people who put you down are just plain haters, jealous, and half of the other people, they just like need to be educated. They need to get out more. So I say, if you have talent, go for it. Learn your art form, master it, so no one can beat you at what you do. And have a cool name. Don't have like DJ Bunty or some random name like that.
Something like cool, like hardcore.
Yeah.
So going on making yourself stand out in the industry, how many languages do you actually know? Because obviously you've gone into Bollywood and a lot of people have tried to go into Bollywood, but they've had Hindi classes. Did you know Hindi before? I've read that.
Yeah, but I was
You know
born
how
in
to sing.
India, so that
Yeah.
really helps. If I wasn't born in India, I guess I would have forgotten. So I can read and write Hindi and Punjabi and speak it. But you know, when I came to UK in '91, and you know, for 5 years I didn't know, had nothing to do with Punjabi because I was trying to learn English and things like that. In my last year, thank you, Miss Calcutt, I took Punjabi in my last year, and that kind of got me back into the practice again. So when I go to India, I can read signs and I practice and stuff like that. Yeah, that really does help. Your accent and everything, it makes a big difference. If you go to India and you don't know how to speak Hindi, and you're trying to make it in playback, especially in Bollywood, it's not going to work. So you have to learn how to speak it. I now know how to speak a little bit of Gujarati, and I've learning. You know, you can understand Bengali and Marwari, Rajasthani language and things like that. So it's fun because, see, instead of being segregated like the way I notice here, where we're like Punjabi's on that side, Gujaratis on that side, Pakistanis on that side, everybody's so segregated. We have so much fun over there because we know so much about each other's cultures and we really get involved. So I've got a lot of mix of friends. I got a lot of Marwari friends. I got a lot of Sindhi friends. I got a lot of Gujarati friends. So you know, I think it's just the fact that we because we're living in England, we should be way more modern and ahead. Instead, if it turns, we are more backwards here. Not everyone, some people.
It's an interesting thought there,
Yeah.
really. So going back to your song Sherni, so that's the one single that you released on your own album.
First ever in India. Yeah.
That's a brilliant
You know, I
achievement
don't
right
own.
there.
That's another thing I like to tell about artists. Like, I don't own any of the songs I've done. You know, maybe one day, maybe after my death, like 80 years later, I might see some royalty in India because the IPRS system is messed up over there, and they are under investigation. So that's getting fixed. At least you have PRS and it's clean in UK. But this is going to do a really good thing for other people. You know, that people are now looking and going, you know what, maybe we should start releasing our own singles. Because in India, you think, I'm just like Nemo, small little fish, and like some big labels, you know the names, are like big whales. Now, how can I promote a track and maybe push it and have it successful at their level? Oh, I just did Visheni. So you can do it. You know, it's about himmat. As long as, you know, you got a big heart and you got this, you know, determination, you can do anything.
If we rewind it back to old hardcore before you hit Bollywood, here in the UK, my favourite song was was Ik Glassi. How did that come about for a female, especially talking about alcohol? How do you think about that?
It's funny because I've been doing music since '95 and I never was on the Asian scene. I was always doing authentic hip hop. So I was performing in Glastonbury and WOMAD and WOMAX, and I was even signed to Simon Cowell's, 19 Management for a while.
You lot did, no?
Yeah, I performed with Justin Timberlake, on stage. All that was because I was doing real hip hop. I've always looked up to American hip hop. So that's what I was influenced by. And my whole plan was to go over there. And then comes mother saying, this is 12 years of me doing music, and then my mom's like, Indian look ka nu na kuch please fusion karke kuch inna ke unno samjh nahi aanda rap ki hunda. And I'm talking what, 20 years ago? It was like, inna nu samjh nahi aanda kuch kar de. So I wouldn't do it on purpose because I wanted to do real authentic hip hop, you know. Oh, he's got my mom here on TV. Wow. Oh, she's alright. That you never get that. That's exclusive. So, Madam G over there said to me that do something for our people. What she didn't know is that I was kind of trying to do the opposite and be going. It was a secret protest. Right? So I thought, I'm going to make a song about alcohol on purpose because all the boys make songs about alcohol, right? So let me do one and it'll be fun and I'll get in trouble and, we'll see what they talk about then. Like, I'll show them. That song becomes a bloody hit. And I'm like, whoa, I'm talking about real things, wearing my hoodie, trying to look like a boy so you don't find me attractive, and you know, do my real
That's a
authentic
signature
hip-hop.
mark of you, though, the hoodies.
And then I come with Galassi, and I'm in a miniskirt, and I'm talking about alcohol, which is wrong. Everyone loves it. So yeah, I guess that changed everything for me, and you know, that's from where I only went to do a performance in Mumbai for Galassi. And I start meeting all these music directors. I met Shankar Sanloy, and they're like, we love your track, we love what you're doing, you got your own style, let's do something when you're in India next time. I said, I'm leaving tomorrow. They're like, okay, whenever you're done next time. And luckily I got a gig 2 months later. So I just went to do a performance of Galassi. I'm supposed to come back to my authentic hip hop and go to America, right? But I went to do a performance, and they're like, let's record for Johnny Gaddar. And the song Move Your Body, and I recorded it. We shot a video a week later, and the rest is history. It just became my anthem. And then I was like, I was trying to come back to UK, but every time I did, I like end up writing a song or releasing something. So I just thought, you know, just stay here, do your thing over here.
So do you think you've got more of a fan base over in India, in particular with the females, the young girls? Are you seeing a change towards attitude? So when you're going, you're walking around with your hoodies, you're walking with your caps, your gold chains. Girls in India, girls even here, they're allowed to do that. Do you feel like you're an icon in that sense?
I don't know. I mean, they call me, like, fashion-wise, they might call it icon, but the reason of me wearing joggers and wearing that stuff is I can look good and dress up and put makeup on fine, but it shouldn't be about that. What we've learned from hip-hop is about what you do on the microphone. So it shouldn't be about your gender or your religion or where you come from. I dress up according to my mood. I'm lazy, so I'll wear a hat if I didn't wash my hair. That's how I am. Like, you know, people think, ooh, that's a cool style, but you don't know if there's a reason behind that. Maybe I was trying to cover my grays. Like, so I think it's about being comfortable. It's not being under pressure. I don't want to live my life in pressure. I've never cared about what people think. If you worry about what people think, you'll never be successful. So, you know, I wear what I want to wear. I dress up how I want. And it's about comfort. You know, who wants to walk around in heels all day? You do feel a bit...
I'm in trainers today.
Yeah, like you get agitated. So, you know, just be comfortable.
Yeah.
If you want to dress up, you want to wear heels, you want to look nice, do it. But do it for yourself or do it for your date. But don't do it for faltu reasons because you're in pressure to look good all the time.
Yeah.
I'm not somebody who can be, you know, like the Bollywood stars. I'm not going to get up and spend 2 hours getting ready and doing my hair and makeup. I ain't got time for that. I got work to do. And my thing is about music. I always sold my art form on my music. It should be about my music. So I'm famous first for my songs and my attitude. And then third, je koi sochda main soni fir, that's a bonus on top. But that doesn't really matter. You know what I mean? It should be about your work.
So where can people find Sherni? Where can they download it from?
It's available everywhere. It's available on iTunes. It's available on Savan, Govera, Horace Music, Hangama. Yeah,
She's everywhere. She's everywhere.
I'm everywhere. So it's available everywhere, and you want to get details, you can go to my Facebook page, which is Official Hardcore World, or Twitter Hardcore World, or Instagram Hardcore World, because everything's a hardcore world. Welcome to my world.
I'm in hardcore world right now. So fantastic. So while we're talking about microphones, can you spit a few bars here for us?
Okay, they
today?
mostly, I'll try and do the non-cursing ones.
Yes, please.
The non-cursing one. I'll just sing you the Sherni one then.
Yeah, brilliant.
All right. Oh yes, oh yes, oh yes, I'm gonna get this poppin'. Let them know HK's gonna come down on you like an assassin. Killing beats like Chucky's bride, I murder them, I'm laughing. I only say cause I talk for real, no dabber boy, no bragging. MC sleeping like screensavers, I wake them up like bad neighbors. Yeah, I know I'm glamorous, but don't trust me, boy, I got mean behavior. Never acting phony, I take care of my noni. And any rappers wanna with me, so won't you come and show me? Sherni hai, sherni hai, sherni hai jatti. Bol diya so bol diya, main piche nahi hatti. Aankh mila lo aur tuda lo free mein apni haddi. I'm a champion. Hey, what's up? This is Hardcore, and you are watching me on Punjab2000.com. Hashtag Tony Pabla. Love you, love you, love you.
शेरनी है शेरनी है शेरनी है जट्टी बोल दिया सो बोल दिया मैं पीछे नहीं हट्टी आंख मिला लो और तुड़ा लो फ्री में अपनी हड्डी I'm a champion